Today, we're going to be checking out my very first Jackson, the Dinky Pro DK2QM HT. So I have some experience with Jacksons. When I was younger, I had access to one for a long time. It was a Kelly that was really good. That had some Duncan Invaders in it and stuff. That was really cool. And I've worked in a guitar store before, so I've played tons of Jacksons. I've always thought the neck profiles on them were awesome. I've just never owned one personally, and I decided to change that because I was kind of realizing recently I don't have a guitar in C standard, which is a tuning I like to play in specifically because I love playing Deathclock songs. When I was younger and in high school, early college, like that stuff really pushed me to become a better player. I mean, dude writes insane riffs and melodies, Brendan Small, but I wanted to, have a guitar that I could just pick up and play some of those old songs and a few other tunes and write some stuff in a tuning I really liked. So I did a little bit of research. I wanted to, buy something maybe used or a bit of a fixer-upper. And then I was like, why haven't I picked up a Jackson? And so I found this. These were made, I think they stopped making them in like 2019. They have other, Dinkies, Pro Dinkies and stuff now that are all pretty similar in spec. But this exact version of it, I believe they stopped making in 2019. And I actually got it basically new because I got it from a guitar store that had it as a display model, and it had gotten a nasty ding on the butt. So even though it hadn't been owned previously, I got a huge discount. I got it for less than what you'd normally find like a used one of these for. So that was pretty cool. A couple of things about it. I do wish it had a couple of different things. I wish the headstock was reversed. I know that might be controversial, but I think all Jacksons with this style headstock look better reversed. I think it looks killer. So, a couple of features about this thing: alder body with a maple top. It's got that really cool, like, quilted veneer on there with this awesome, like, blue chlorine style burst. It is a hardtail, thus the HT in the name. Now it's their version, the Jackson's version of kind of like a hip shot style thing. It really reminds me of a hip shot style bridge, which is my favorite kind of bridge. So I felt right at home at this. It adjusts the same for both intonation and string height, goes through the body. One thing about that was the intonation screw on the low string was stripped, so I had to look into what size screw I needed and then order some new intonation screws in black so I'd be able to actually intonate this thing. It has a 5-way switch, so you can, you know, go neck, middle, and bridge, and then some splits and all that good stuff. The pickups in this are a classic pickup set, the Seymour Duncan JB59. I thought, you know, I'd probably be fine with that. I mean, I've owned guitars with the JB59 before, and they're fine. I mean, they do in a pinch. There's nothing inherently wrong with them. I mean, they're classic pickups, especially amongst like thrash guys from the 80s, and for good reason, but they just don't really do it for me. They're not like hot enough. They're definitely not aggressive enough. Like especially in the mid range, they're not cutting enough. I just kind of find myself kind of fighting with them a bit, or like I feel like they're both kind of a little bit loose too, especially the 59. And I'm having this in a pretty low tuning, so got to change that out. So I did end up ordering some bare knuckle pickups, a painkiller for the bridge and a cold sweat for the neck, and I got them both in that same zebra because I really like that. So those will be in this guitar on the channel in future for sure. Now the neck is a graphite reinforced neck, so super stable. Just an incredible contour. Jackson's contours are so good. They feel so good in the hand. And it's just raw maple, so just super fast and shreddy. Same on the fretboard, feels super good. It's got 24 jumbo frets, 25.5-inch scale length. It's a compound radius that I believe goes 12 to 16. So it gets nice and flat. Again, super shreddy. The thing feels super good to play. One other problem I did have, though, is the fret job was not great. They were definitely a little rough, a little pokey, not super polished. So I did go back over them with my personal 3-corner file, rounded everything, smoothed everything out, then polished them up with my Dremel and some polishing wheels. Now it plays super smooth and feels great, but I feel like that's probably how it should have felt from factory, especially for what these did cost new. So that was my other little complaint with this and the intonation screw, which I guess the intonation screw can happen. It's not really that big of a deal, but the frets are definitely a bigger deal. Then yeah, it's got Jackson locking tuners. Those are okay. I think I might swap those out too. They don't feel as accurate, and I do like that kind of accuracy and getting everything tuned up just perfect. It's not like it's a big hassle or they go out of tune. It just takes me a little longer to get them in tune, so might be something I swap in future later. The neck has also got this wonderful contour for where it's bolted on. It's just this super easy access hand contour, especially if you're going to go up and do some shreddy stuff, which I'm not the most shreddy guy in the world, but it's nice to have it there for comfort. All in all, a couple little complaints. I'm going to definitely do some upgrades other than the fret job that I did on it to make it play better, but I'm happy with the thing. It plays so good now. The setup was pretty good on it too. Like the neck was perfect. The string heights were perfect. The intonation was pretty dead on. Like I said, it was just a few little things there. So that's kind of enough talking about it. Like I said, I got this to play like some Deathclock style songs. The in mix was definitely very Deathclock-ish when I sat down with it and got it in C standard. I just started writing Deathclock style stuff, and that in mix is what came out. I think it came out super cool. So in the out of mix, we'll hear some more riffs like that, and I'll just play a couple of my favorite Deathclock riffs. This is going to be going into my Ingalls Savage Mark II. That's going to be going into my Two Notes Captor X, which has my own personal blend of a DV77 and VM1265, which you can find in a Dropbox link down below if you'd like to check that out. And I'm just going to chug on the lead channel. I mean, everyone's heard of JB59 a million times. We don't need to hear that on clean and crunch and all the different splits and everything like that. I'll just mess around with it. So yeah, happy with my purchase. This is the right scale length for doing something in C. Long enough that it intonates fine and everything feels right, and it doesn't start fighting me with that lower tuning, which it can with like a Gibson Les Paul style scale length or anything like that. It feels right. It feels super good. That neck contour is so good. I mean, there's a reason people love Jacksons so much. That neck contour rules. There are definitely going to be some upgrades. Like I said, going to upgrade those pickups for sure. Like you probably hear in the out of mix, like nothing like bad about them, but they weren't pushing super hard or cutting super hard. They were just kind of there. They were doing the job, but we can do better. But yeah, would love to know your thoughts. If you have one of these or another Jackson or any other Jacksons you might recommend, leave that comment down below. I'll link to the Jackson website and some of the Dinkies and stuff just so you can check out what they have now, since this isn't really available anymore. But killer guitar, if you find one for a good price, I definitely recommend picking it up, and hopefully the fret job's better on it than the one I've found. But thanks for watching. Stay metal.